Hello viewers, welcome to Inspire Me Media Network, where we get inspired. Today, to get us inspired, we have Coach Spark. Coach Spark is a data engineer and a data process management technician. He's an award-winning, a four-time award-winning real estate national coach. Coach Spark, please tell the viewers more about yourself.
Thank you, Mr. CHUKWUMA, for having me, and I celebrate every one of you here. My name is Spark OVADJ, as you rightly said, and I hail from Delta State, a native of Robo.
Okay.
And I am Nigeria's national real estate coach, proudly Nigerian, and currently rated among the top 5 real estate coaches in Africa. And there's so many works we've done all over in 21 states for now. And one of the things that actually gives me the drive is a place of ensuring that humanity becomes better. What I mean by that is to remote lives and to tell them that they can become what they really want to be. And where we are now is in the real estate industry and some other parts of the other industries we're also applying and all that.
Awesome. Now, Coach Spark, can you tell us, in a nutshell, about real estate in Lagos? Just summarily, where it has come from, where it is, and where it's going.
Real estate in Lagos. Well, real estate in Lagos actually is even much more vast to some extent than other parts of Nigeria. And the reason why I say so is because of the current development that is ongoing in the Bejleki, where you have the Dangote refinery and the other fantastic development and all that. And the thing is, well, the fact remains that we are growing because of the massive developments somehow. Properties that have been selling at the rate of maybe 400,000 as at a few years ago, about 4 years now, currently selling for 5 million. You can imagine such a massive return on investment for those people that have invested in those areas and all that. And Nigeria itself is also boasting of Lagos as a result of certain things that are happening here when it comes to real estate.
Yeah, so today we have in the studio Coach Spark to tell us about real estate security. So, Coach Spark, what will you advise intending investors to look out for to ensure the security of their real estate investments?
Thank you so much for that question. That's very versatile. Because no one will want to just jump up on the street or come up from anywhere, or because you are having a product and just buy them. So one of the things you have to look at for number one is the company. People buy people. So number one thing is who is selling. Now what do I mean? This is the company, for instance, is Lagbaja Limited. And this is Lagbaja Limited. Look a little to what they have done. That will give an overview. Then, yes, you are interested in the product, but who is behind the product? What have they done before? Stuff like that.
What's their track record?
And all that. So, now coming back to the product, that now comes into the area of title. What title do that product have? If the product, for instance, has an excision, then you know, okay, to some extent it has a title that shows that it's free from government encumbrances. Now, if just telling you that it has just a freehold and then the people that are backing it, they are not willing to do anything about it, then do not buy. Okay. So that means there is need to look into who is selling and who you are buying from. And this is why we discourage people from buying from Omonile. You buy from verified and reputable establishments who are members of READAN, Illicit Development Association of Nigeria, and all that. So there are sensitive areas that we should look into. In terms of talking about investment, that's from the view of those coming to invest. And then understanding whether what I am buying we have proper documentation. There are companies who actually say they bought property from, and there's no proper legal documentation. That means they don't have a proper in-house structure and all that.
Okay, you've said a lot, Coach Spark, and we'll elaborate more on some of these when we come back from our break.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so welcome back. Like you know already, we have Coach Spark, 5-time award-winning national coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coach Spark, you mentioned freehold, titles on property. Can you elaborate more on this? What titles do we consider secure? What titles do we consider careless?
Thank you so much for that, because that's very sensitive. When it comes to land titles, most times, a lot of people, most times you see some flyers, you some say they want to buy properties, and the properties has just a survey, a deed, and you didn't even check to see if the survey deed is a registered survey. It's a very copy and all that. And then you also find that people say, okay, I want to buy this particular product, and then they say a decision in process. It is also the duty of you to find out whether this property, they have truly actually applied for extension and all that. So what am I trying to say is that, yes, there's need to be survey. Survey is just a cutting out. That's your portion. Now, the area of excision comes in whereby you talk about the land is being applied to the government so that they can get it free from government encumbrances. They give it back. Like, let me explain to you the scenario, how I explain excision. A man is interested in a woman. The same way a man is interested in a particular property, piece of land. Now he goes to meet the lady and make the proposal. Propose to her. She says yes. We are allowed. Okay, come and see my people. That's land search. Go and check. And he did check everything. And then he met the father. They gave him the rules on how he can go about becoming the owner, the rightful owner, properly, legally. Now, the person of coming to see the family that particular time is like showing that let us introduce ourselves. People call it introduction before marriage. But here, it is now becoming what? Excision in process. Now, the reason why it is excision in process that time because of you have gone there to indicate that you are interested in that. So they've applied for it. They did all the necessary things and then you have done all the necessary stuff and then you had the wedding. And then they give the woman to you. I mean, she's excised. That's also the same way like lands are. Okay. So that property now becomes excised to you because you've applied for it and you have done all the needful. It's not just by applying. There are certain things that have to be done to ensure and ascertain that that particular piece of land parcel is given to you and all that. Now look at it. When you are done with that, what happens next? You look at the woman saying, I'm not married and all that. Then she says, let me go to the registry or let me go to newspaper, whatever. Let me make it known to the world. Let me publicize it. And then you publish that particular level. Because what? Gazette. Now let me explain to you what it means here. If the land is already excised and the property now is now being published in the Governor's Book of Record, now it's now being known to the public, shown to the public, that particular property becomes a gazette. So it means that a gazette can simply be referred to as a government published excision. Okay. Then you can move on to other. There are other titles like the CFO. You know, and we have the kind of CFO. We have the. Okay, one moment. Let me ask you an investor's question. Yes, please.
If a land is excised, is it excised to a particular person, or does an excision simply mean the government is saying we do not have vested interest on this property? We don't know who does, but we don't.
When they say a land is excised, it just means that the property is now giving hand. They gave the hand of that land to you. So they have given the power. You own it. So generally all land, according to land use that belongs to the government. To the government. To the government and all that. Always put in the governor's hands. He's in charge. So how do we get it officially given to you so you can actually maintain and manage it? Just the way we are on earth. He said we should manage it, occupy it like home. It's also the same way also. You are now being given that mantle that you now own it legally. So it's excised to an individual. Okay. Or as a community most times. Most kind of decision we get most times, they are always a community. So we don't find people saying that they have an excision that is just one person. So if someone applied for it, it is for a particular unit. It's for a community. That's a village excision, a community excision. It's free for them and all that. They can now start doing whatever they want to do with this. That means it's free to them to make use of. Now where I'm going here is this. If now the property is given to them as excised in their own name now, and then it's not like let me give an instance like Olookpokpo or a particular name, Lagbaja community. So it is now a community excision in Olookpokpo. That means this is the name or Lagbaja excision. Now people now go there that particular part and buy piece of it. Like say community, people say, okay, I bought a particular part of this land. It's now I bought this excision, I bought this. So everybody now it can happen that so many estates will now share one excision because it's a community excision. Most
times.
time,
A large parcel of land.
It's only when there's a particular part, like a group, then it comes to a excision block. That will come back to that some other time.
Okay.
And all that. So that's just to answer your question. What you actually asked. Should I proceed to the area of titles?
Sure.
Now, the other ones again we talked about earlier. I mentioned was the CFO. Now, CFO, you and I know that CFO is certificate of occupancy. There are kinds of CFO and there are type of CFO. In a scenario now when somebody says, I have this particular CFO, and the CFO I want to start building. Before you think of talking about building, check what type of CFO do you have there. Is it an agricultural CFO? Is it residential CFO? Is it commercial CFO or industrial CFO? You cannot go and build some kind of things in some places. If the place is for agriculture and you want to build a 5-story or a high scraper, it won't be allowed. So that means it's a good title, but that is not what it's built for. Now, kinds. We have what they call, type. Now, we have what they call the residential, the global CFO and the normal CFO. Now, the normal CFO is a CFO that could be in a group, in a company name, it could be in the estate name, it could be in an individual name. But the global CFO is like a community CFO again. So it's a global CFO. Now, why we actually need to explain to people so they can understand these things most time is because a lot of people will actually go and say they want to go and search in Alausa to find out if this CFO, if this particular CFO I'm buying, why is it that the CFO is not in the name of the estate or the name of the company that I'm getting? Why? The reason is because of that CFO may be a global CFO. So it is in a CFO name like Olowopopo CFO or like Baglaba that's called Oshoroko. So it's a CFO that is global. So the only way now you can now prove that those people that you are buying from has it is when they show you their deed of assignment.
From the original team.
So the deed of assignment shows that this is the portion of the entire CFO that we own. Because the deed of assignment that shows that they have transferred total right to you to own that particular place. Now, such clients who buys a place now, a particular property that has a global CFO, because it cannot be in his name, or neither can it be in any kind of name that he desires. What does he now do? You go and apply for a governor's consent. And as the governor's consent is just a stamp, so that shows that, okay, you own it. So this is the scenario. You bought a CFO land. I bought a CFO land. Now, I'm selling it to my younger brother or somebody else. The person buys it. He wants it in his name. It's not possible.
He can't have the CFO in his name.
You go and apply for a governor's consent. Some will tell you that it's possible somehow. They want to do it. But can you wait for 99 years? That's the question. And all that. So I think that's just the little I want to say about for now, please. All
right, we must have learned a lot about these titles.
Thank you.
We'll continue again when we come back after this short break. So welcome back, Coach Spark, the 5-time National Real Estate Coach Award winner.
Thank you.
We are so glad to have you, and you have really said so much.
Thank you.
I would like to take you back on the train of thoughts we are having. You talked about the governor excising land to the community. Of course, like you said, all land is held in trust by the governor.
Yes.
So he excises some to the applying community.
Yes.
So when this land is now excised to the community, they have the documentation, excision in their name.
Yes.
Do you now advise investors to buy from these communities who have this excision?
Thank you so much for that question. Quite sensitive. Now, we most time, I will say this way, I most time strongly request or advise that people do not buy their investment from Omonile, because they could be victim of land grabbers. It's possible. Then number 2, and that part again is, yes, the Omoniles are the town people. Omonile simply means, for those of you that are watching that do not really know, Omonile means the people of the soil. So those who grew up there, that own the place because it's their community. Now, there's one thing that can happen to you if you go and buy from them. Imagine you bought from Lagbaja A, and Lagbaja A is selling that same one he sold to you to 30 people. How do you explain it? That's why we see most time we encourage people to buy products from verified and reputable establishments. Not just any real estate company anyway, because there's what they call the package of money lenders now. And those ones that wear suits and they could just vanish.
And have flyers.
So that's why I said do your check properly. Real estate security is very sensitive. This is not a joking matter. Because a lot of people actually, I've seen someone that hanged himself as a result of what? Being duped in real estate matters.
Wow.
So these are reality. So you have to really check and be very careful when it comes to buying real estate investment. Buy good titles, yes, but also buy from the right source. And who do you go through? Go through real estate developers that had record breakers, that had a little of what they have done. They've done this before, they've done this, and they have an experience. You don't go and buy product from a company that just have only one estate, and only that one estate is execution in process. We discourage that. That's what I can say for now. You say you have one or two more questions.
Okay, sure. So another issue, like an excised parcel of land, is a parcel of land. So, and then I come in as an investor. I want to buy 2 plots of land.
Yes.
Of course, Omonile or the community, they probably don't have time to start laying out the land. I think that's one of the problems. So, we go to them, they sell to us very cheap. And then, tomorrow, this parcel of land that was sold to me turns out to be a roundabout. Or maybe police station or school.
Yes, yes.
You know, according to a layout that comes later.
Yes. Federal layout.
How do we as investors forestall this kind of occurrences?
Good question. Back to base. Like I said, buy from developers. I don't just buy from any developer. The developer should have a layout of the estate. And now, what is layout in a sense? Layout is just lay it out. Means it is the structure of the picture of the future. It is just the way it will look like tomorrow. So any company says that I'm selling a particular estate or product, and doesn't have layout, we all know. So this is actually a call to book to developers out there who want to sell their estate. How do I know it's an estate? The only way is to see that there's a gatehouse here. There's this. So that means that is your community, among the community. Then back to the other question I talked about, what if it's a roundabout and all that. Now for you to get that particular stuff put together, it means that you have considered certain things. Because in those layouts, there's always what they call the proposed road, roundabout. Everything will be there. So you can't just go wrong easily and all that. And if there are, so just in case there's any problem in the future, for instance, you can know who to hold and the right person to be with. And you know that you actually have majority with you. Say majority wins the vote. So this is a reality. No, I'm just going to buy because you feel I want to save cost. It's better you pay better and don't live a better life tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. So you talked about REDAN, Real Estate
Developers Association.
Can you tell us about it and how it helps to secure investments, real estate investments?
Well, that's a unit. That's an association. Okay. Just like we have real estate people, we have different levels. Now they have realtors, they have people that are agents, we have REDAN for people that develop. Those are people that develop properties. Now you find that some companies are just coming up. I'm the national real estate coach in Nigeria. And I tell you, I've seen so many companies. I've worked over 352 companies in Nigeria in 21 states. And there are some of them, I will tell you, I found out later. You know, I'm growing, and with time, there are people I stop working with because they're not ready to do the right things. Now, there are some of them that are not members of REDAN. I told them already, who stop selling some of their estates, don't push their products like before. And because of they're not members of REDAN. What is REDAN? REDAN is Real Estate Development Association of Nigeria. They are the ones that help to regulate certain kind of developments. So we don't have issues with kind of development that will come to replace. It's not every developer that is actually schooled in terms of development. I don't mean they didn't go to school. I mean that being schooled to know, okay, they cannot build this kind of building here. This is the kind of foundation, raft foundation here. This is the kind of pipe foundation that will be on this particular soil and all that. Some of them are just to sell land. They need to be schooled. Or better still, they get out of the business. So we don't have issues with people. Because that can actually, the only thing that buries a man is land. So one has to be very careful with some of these things. And that's why that association actually comes into place to help manage certain things like this. And so definitely, as a prospect or an investor, you can do your check and say, okay, let me even find out, are they members of REDAN? Maybe you want to do that. You can go ahead and all that.
Thank you very much, Coach Spark.
Yes, sir.
welcome back. Once again, it's nice to have you, Coach Spark.
Thank you.
So one more question before we go. Can you talk to us about the realtors, the people that actually bring these products to the market for investors to buy? Yes, what should we be looking out for in terms of security while dealing with realtors?
Thank you so much. You said realtors are professionals, not normal agents who are just jumping from one place to another. Now, the word realtor itself means is a defined real estate professional. That's somebody who is really good to go and who should have done due diligence where necessary. But here's the problem. Many people who call themselves realtors are not realtors yet. And they are still with the mindset of marketers. So that means they sell anything. And that means when it comes to the aspect of the clients now, or those prospects, those investors, that is why they should know certain things. I just walk up to you and tell you to buy a particular property, and then before you could look too much, you have started making a payment without even understanding the title of the land, the kind of company you are selling and all that. So there are certain things you should look out for from the realtor. He should have, or she should have, before you key into any of the investment from that person. So now back to realtors in the aspect of what should they then do if they are listening to me. See, the business of real estate is a serious business. How do I know? The book of Genesis chapter 1, I'm not trying to make it religious, but listen to this. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. When God did that, God created real estate. That's what he did. He said he hovered around the deep. That was site inspection. He said he cleared, said they divided the waters and the dry land. That was sand filling. So he was involved. And he also did farming. All of this shows that God himself was the first realtor. And if we are representing him in terms of the aspect of spreading real estate, then we have to be very careful. No wonder it says study to show yourself approved. So those who are selling real estate, realtors, go and study well. Go and know a lot about your product. And do not just sell anything. Because at the end of the day, you will be the one having problems with the police and the issues. So you look out for products that have good titles. Look out for products that have that companies that are willing to deliver. So that if everybody goes like this, then we'll have certain nuisance that are I call it nuisatic. Those things that are not professional. Professionalism will not be in the market. And then prospects, clients, investors, they will now believe that whatever they are getting at the product that's going to be coming out there are genuine. Thank you.
Awesome. So how do you compare crypto and real estate in terms of investment security? Great.
Let me start with this. The best investment on earth is earth. How do I know? Cryptocurrency, yes, it originated because there was earth. If there was no earth, there would be no cryptocurrency in the first place. Now, you cannot just boast and say I have 500 million or whatever millions naira or dollars in your account and you want to go and apply for something, or you look and tell someone I have so amount of money in cryptocurrency, so therefore give me this loan. You won't be given. But it's only when you have a land that has a CFO, and then they can give you or consider you for what? Certain kind of loans, a number of them. So that's to tell you that the king of investment is real estate. There's no cryptocurrency. I'm not saying it's a bad investment anyway, but I'm trying to tell you that the best investment on earth is earth. And it will start from real estate. If there's no real estate, there is no other investment. Because every other investment is inside the real estate investment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Spark.
Thank you for having me.
It's so wonderful having you, and no wonder you've been the national award-winning real estate coach for 5 years running.
Yes, please.
Congratulations. We have learned so much from your being here. So viewers, you've heard it. The best investment on earth is earth. The best investment, the most secure investment is real estate. And while you're about investing in your real estate, increasing your real estate portfolio, make sure you watch out for all these tips, all these security tips he has listed, so that you don't end up buying the hole in the donuts. Thank you. We'll have Coach Spark again. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.